welcome to the Spotlight, National Podcast Post Month. Day number 2, November 2nd, 2020. We are posting some of my favorite conversations I've had over the past 6 years of the podcast. Every day, another trip down memory lane all through the month of November. Wrapping up this 6th season of the program, gearing up for Season 7, which is going to be starting end of December, beginning of January, right around that time. Bigger guests, more guests. We're gonna be pulling out all the stops for Season 7. I am your host, Ben Beck, and over the years I've had many opportunities to interact and become friends with some of the cast of the television show Arrow on the CW. I've moderated panels with them, interviewed them, hung out with them at conventions, and even, drank wine with some of them and just hung out with them. They're amazing people. People like Stephen Amell, David Ramsey, Emily Bett Rickards, Echo Killam, who's been on this podcast before, Paul Blackthorne, Katie Cassidy. It's so many that it's hard to keep track. But this is the one that started it all. We're diving deep again with this one, heading towards the beginning of the program. This is going back to Season 1, and one of our first, I think he was within the first 5 guests that we've had, is James Bamford, who you're going to hear on this episode. James, at the time, was the stunt coordinator for Arrow, and, over the years since we spoke to him, he stepped up from not just stunt coordinator to producer and director of episodes of Arrow. So, he had a nice climb as we were doing the same here with this podcast. You're going to hear my former co-host Adam on this one as well. But here we go. Day number 2. This is our conversation with, at the time, stunt coordinator for CW's Arrow, James Bam Bam Bamford. All right, guys, Ben and Adam here for Next Level Showcast on Next Level Radio, and we are joined tonight by another awesome special guest we've been looking forward to talking to for quite some time. Please welcome to our show, James Bamford. So, James, stunt performer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about Stunt Canada.
Stunt Canada? Stunt Canada is the oldest and largest stuntmen's association in Canada. It was established in 1970, and it is, the membership contains some of the most talented and experienced stunt performers, second unit directors, and stunt coordinators and stunt actors in Canada, or in North America for that matter.
And you're the president of Stunt Canada now, correct?
I am the current president, yes.
How long have you been a part of Stunt Canada?
Let's see here. It's been involved with my career since I started, as a lot of the stunt coordinators I worked for when I was first starting out that I respected were Stunt Canada members. It's a group that you get voted into as opposed to just being absorbed. I myself, I think it was around 97, 98, 99, something like that.
Is that how long you've been a coordinator or a performer?
That's how long I would have been a Stunts Canada member.
Oh, okay.
I've been a stunt man, and you don't automatically just become a stunt coordinator. Generally, you go through being, everybody, it works different for everyone, but the usual route is stunt performer, cover coordinator, and then stunt coordinator, and then sometimes later second unit director, et cetera, et cetera. I've been a stunt man and involved in the stunt part of the industry, as well as an actor and whatnot, since 1990, 91-ish.
Okay, so
I would say.
So you definitely have your time in the business.
A little bit of time, yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of stunts, what was the most difficult stunt that you've had to learn? I mean, obviously you've been doing it for, you said, about
A while.
24 years now. In that time, I'm sure you've learned a ton of different, moves and everything. What was the most difficult that you can think of?
Oh, geez. I get asked that a lot. It's a really tough answer. I've had both my hips replaced in the last few years. I've had one of my lat muscles kind of torn in half, and
that's gotta hurt.
had my tricep torn in half. I don't know. By difficult, do you mean most painful, or?
Well, I was just thinking technique-wise.
Technique-wise, also very difficult to answer. It's been a pretty long career, and different challenges present themselves throughout the career. So,
right.
Different things required. I mean, Blade 3, for instance, I was brought in later on in the film. I wasn't available to begin with, and they needed someone to double Dominic Purcell to fight
Dracula.
Wesley Snipes as Blade. Yeah, exactly.
That's a great one.
And the final fight sequence, they had been putting together and rehearsing for, I think, 3 to 4 months prior. And I stepped off a plane. I was working on the Chronicles of Riddick and Scooby-Doo 2 and a few other things that earlier that year. And I decided to take off and go to the Bahamas, I believe. And I stepped off a plane and got a phone call the moment I stepped off the plane. Hey, can you come down here and try on these leather pants and et cetera, et cetera? And I was like, guys, I literally just walked off a plane from the Bahamas, and I'm really relaxed right now. And no, come on, we need you to double this guy and blah blah blah. And you got to win this fight, and we don't have a guy right now. And
so you ended up doing it anyway?
For months. Yeah, I went down there, and
wow.
I guess the answer to your question was the challenge was that I had literally, I think about 2 hours to learn this huge sword fight.
Wow.
That they'd been rehearsing for a few months, and I just said, it's impossible. I can't do it. And the fight choreographer, Chuck Jeffrey, said, "Oh, come on, sure you can. We've heard you'll be able to learn that in 15 minutes." Sure, yeah, you're saying that.
Yeah,
so
they
that
always say
so
that,
that
right?
I'll try. But somehow, I have no idea, I learned it in a couple hours, and we put it on film the next day, and it went extremely well. So that was a big challenge, but I don't know. There's been so many that just popped into my head just for whatever reason.
Well, it takes a dedicated man to leave the Bahamas after just getting there. I can say that.
No, I was actually there. I had actually landed home when the phone rang.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't have left.
I was going to say.
I wouldn't have blamed you.
I arrived.
You had mentioned you tore your tricep. That was, I assume, doing a stunt. Which stunt would you say would be then the most dangerous, I guess, most, likely to get injured off of?
That again is very, very hard to answer. Sometimes the most simplest stunts nick you or sting you.
Right.
That particular injury in my tricep was doing a ratchet, which is a wire stunt on X-Men 2. I think it was during a rehearsal, actually, and doubling Hugh Jackman, the Wolverine character. And at some point in the rehearsal, I got inverted in the air, which was part of the stunt, but through the flight. But one of my feet got caught up in the other character who was also on a wire, up in her wire, and I remained inverted, and I basically got dropped on my head from. It was about a 60-foot travel although it was into a pad, but of course I
Right.
put my hands up to protect my head, and my arm got sort of all my weight upside
Right.
down ended up on my elbow, and that's what tore my tricep.
Yeah, it's kind of just natural reflex to do that.
Yeah, you'd rather not break your neck, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've been injured doing, and I've seen people be injured fight sequences, just hitting the ground repetitively over and over again onto the cement. Obviously, a high fall, you do an 80-foot high fall. If you miss the airbag, well, you're dead. So that's that would be a dangerous stunt. Getting hit by a car hits. You see less and less classic stunts these days because of the advent of visual effects. So, where the time I was brought up in, you'd see somebody get hit by a car or execute a high fall without a wire, a free fall, on a regular basis. But nowadays you just don't see that as much. There's a lot of wires, and it's very easy. I think it's about $500 per shot to remove a wire in visual effects. So when you see a lot of the high falls nowadays, there's a wire involved.
$500 just to take a wire out. I feel like I could do it on my computer a little cheaper.
Yeah, that's per shot. So if you see a high fall and it goes on for a while, and there's several different shots involved, you could be looking up to $1,500, $2,000. Yeah.
So, but I actually just was in Disney World last week, and I was I don't know if you've ever been down to the one in Florida, but they have the stunt show, the Indiana Jones stunt show.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I've been there actually to the one in Florida.
Yeah, they had mentioned that obviously in that show there's fight scenes and stuff, but there's also explosives, and they mentioned how working with explosives is dangerous, but actually more injuries occur from just fight sequences. Would you agree that that's correct?
Yes. Simply because fight sequences are 80%, I would say, of your work. The fight is the most common form of stunt.
Mm-hmm.
There's far more fights written into scripts than there are giant explosions or car chases or anything like that. Fights are just a lot cheaper to produce.
I was gonna say.
And if you're good at them, they have a huge impact on the screen, and can really manipulate the audience emotionally and spiritually, etc.
Well, yeah, Arrow, by the way, does a great job of doing that. You do a fantastic job on that show.
Oh, thank you. It's a great honor to be part of that show, and particularly the fights. We have a great time.
Right. Now, would you say that most injuries that do occur, would you say that's just because fight scenes are becoming more intense, or do you think it just happens sometimes a little bit of slip and focus, or is it because you're basically trying to hit the person without hitting them?
Well, let's just back up to the history of a stunt performer right off the bat. A stunt performer has a 100% likelihood of being injured. So there's a 100% injury rate in the career of a stunt performer. So right there, you take that and then you examine what's the most common stunt. And as I mentioned previously, it's a fight sequence. So in a fight sequence, you're hitting cement. Hence, I've had both my hips replaced, not to mention thrown, hundreds of thousands, millions of kicks over the years. But you're looking at an impact that your bones, your joints just are not made to take on a daily basis.
Yeah.
If you're a busy stunt performer, which I've been very fortunate to have been in my younger years and throughout my career. I've been very fortunate to work a lot and double and be a size, 6 foot tall, 180-ish pounds. I've been fortunate enough to double a lot of actors just because that's a very common size.
Right.
In a lead male actor, and I've been fortunate enough to work a lot, and that means I've also been fortunate enough to hit the pavement repetitively. so that's a
bit of a double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah, that takes its toll. I wouldn't give it away for the world, but that's just part of the job. Fight sequences involve one or several other individuals. Mm-hmm. So when you're dealing with, hopefully, like the people that I hire as far as within a fight sequence or for the fight team are the cream of the crop, usually, or unless for some reason we can't get the people that we want because they're unavailable. But generally, the people that I would handpick have the utmost timing, speed, power, and training and ability. So it's I don't like to say it's a dance, as a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. I like to take the dance out of fight choreography by bumping up the timing. And make it look like a fight, of course, because anybody can choreograph something that within a fight that looks like a dance, but not everybody can take that and then make the timing make it look like it's actually a fight, yet keep all the technique intact and whatnot.
Right.
So that's the challenge. And your original question was, why do these things happen? Why do injuries occur? Well, you can only account for yourself. You can't account for your partner. There's usually a little bit of both people or several people. Sometimes there's one person fighting 7 people, or we did a fight last week that was one person fighting a recycled amount of about 35 people. So. Yeah, little things occur, especially when you're trying to remember the choreography. We spent all day doing a huge fight sequence, and I think we rehearsed a total of 22 hours with Stephen and Mel rehearsing and stunt people rehearsing and whatnot. And you still get, some slight miscalculation. Somebody leans forward 1 inch when they shouldn't have, and you get hit in the temple with a stick or a club, or, you name it.
Some other blunt object.
Yeah, blunt object, a sharp object. You call it. I've seen everything happen at this point.
Yeah,
but that's just par for the course. We get hit, we get bruised, we tear ligaments, we pull muscles. The actors, even Stevens, pulled quite a few muscles. He trains a lot, as you know, to keep up that physique of his. Yeah. He's inhuman that way. So he pulls muscles a lot. He's got to keep up a really tight regime of fitness and nutrition. And sometimes you get dehydrated and whatnot, and injuries occur, even with the actors. But what I'm there to prevent, also there to achieve a high level of action, but we're also there to prevent injuries to our actors. If something happens to Steven, then the whole show goes away.
Yeah.
So, right. Yeah. And that's a lot of jobs, and I don't want to be responsible for people losing their job.
Yeah.
Now you had mentioned earlier too. You've done a couple of different things: stunt coordinator, fight coordinator, stunt performer, just to name a few. And now on Arrow, you're co-stunt coordinator and as well as the fight coordinator. Other than the main thing, obviously, of going from someone who performs to someone who teaches, are there any really big differences in those job titles?
There's a huge difference in between stunt performer and stunt coordinator. A huge difference. A performer has that need to perform, simply put. A performer likes, the only audience you have when you're performing on television or film is, of course, the film crew, and who regularly do grace us with applause and whatnot, which is very very great thing. They show their appreciation, and it's nice to feel that. The performers, of course, endure a lot of physical pain. That having a high pain threshold is part of the job. Of course, you don't encounter that as a stunt coordinator. Stunt coordinator's job is far more tedious, as far as it's very involved, planning, scheming, plotting, budgeting, choreographing, polishing, meetings, reading scripts, that sort of thing. It's a lot more management involved. A stunt performer is, I guess, if you were to put it into military terminology, stunt performer would be the soldier, and the stunt coordinator would be the captain or the general.
Okay.
And the director would be the general. The stunt coordinator would be a captain, as just like in the mafia, and or the other departments, hair, makeup, wardrobe.
Right.
The assistant directors are all also captains, the heads of those departments as well. So we're part of a piece of the puzzle.
Okay. And when you act as a stunt performer and you're doubling an actor, how long does it usually take you to prepare and coordinate so that you look like the actor that you're supposed to be? This way, like, the audience can't tell.
That really depends on the actor. And back in the day when I first started, there wasn't as many people out there, so there wasn't as many. The stunt performer, the position was a very elite. I mean, it still is. That per capita in the world, there's not that many stunt performers compared to the civilian population. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, there was far less stunt performers out there, and people just simply didn't know how to go about becoming a stunt performer. So my very first job, I arrived on set. You go through, you change your clothes, you go into your trailer, you put on the same wardrobe. You have to be, when you're hired, well, hopefully you're hired because, one, you have the skills that are required to do the job, and two, because you're the general dimensions, the height and weight and shape as the actor that you're there to double. So you're 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, 180 pounds, which was my general category.
So there's not a lot of 5 foot, 250 pound guys doing stunt work, is what you're telling me?
I haven't met too many, no. It depends. Whatever the general, whatever the average actor's height is out there, you can bet there's more stunt performers that size around than other categories.
Right.
We have a little bit of everything out there within the union and within the associations, but the average size is 5'8", 5'9", and 6 feet tall. Then there's guys that are 6'5", then there's guys that are like 5'3", on the other scales of things, but the majority are between 6'1" and 5'8".
Okay. I fit in there.
But yeah, well, there you go. So you arrive, you put on your wardrobe, you change out of your old clothes, your own personal clothes. You take any jewelry off. You put on the wardrobe of the character. Then you go through hair and makeup. And as I was saying, my first job, I had to wear a wig, a long black wig. I think it was a long black mullet wig, and then sort of inbred hillbilly kind of wig, and then the next thing I had to wear a prosthetic nose, and a mustache and a beard had to be glued on. So sometimes you have to go through all that to look like your actor, and sometimes you show up and you look identical to your actor because your hair has been cut in advance, and you don't require much preparation at all. So you walk in, you put on your wardrobe, you change out of your clothes, put on the character's wardrobe, and hair and makeup look at you and go, perfect, and they don't do anything to you.
Did you have to shave your head for Dominic Purcell? Because I think he was bald in that movie, right?
He wasn't bald, but he
very
was
short.
buzzed like less. It was like half an inch
Okay.
everywhere. Yeah, it was a pretty short haircut. Yeah. But I didn't mind. It was fun, and I liked another reason to stay in shape. Like I said, I was in the Bahamas, so
Yeah.
I was eating a little extra and whatnot. It gave me a reason to jump back in the gym and whatnot. I think I was lifting sandbags on set in between takes just to try and keep up with him because he was in really good shape at the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking here at actors that you've doubled, and in the TV show Welcome to Paradox, you doubled Ice-T. How does that work?
Oh, geez, wow, that's a long time ago. That's funny. That's funny because JJ Macro, my partner on Arrow, was the stunt coordinator on that show at the time. And I asked the same question. They called me up and said, we want you to come. Do you know who Ice-T is? And I'm like, do I? Because I was a big rap fan back in the day and hip-hop fan. And they're like, we want you to double him. I went, are you nuts? But I've got a fairly olive complexion. So that was in the summertime, and I tan up like I was really dark. But I showed up like embarrassed to be there, and I was darker. Like I was quite a bit darker. Ice-T's sort of again, he's got an olive-ish or complexion, but very light skinned.
Right.
And at the time, I was darker toned and more reddy toned. So they lightened me up and changed my hairline because he's got a higher hairline and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, I looked nothing like him.
Right.
And realistically, I forget what the scene was. I think it was getting elbowed in the face playing basketball in a prison sequence or something to that effect.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure they kept me in my trailer, like kept me away from him, so he wouldn't see me and go, "What the hell is he doing?"
He wouldn't know that you were doubling him.
Yeah.
Great.
Like later on in a movie, 3,000 Miles of Graceland, another one of my friends doubled him, who looks far more like him and should be doubling him. And I think I went up to Ice-T. He had a couple guys with him, a bit of an entourage, and I became friendly with them, and I started telling them, I doubled him, way back. And they're like, get the fuck out of here.
I was going to say, they believe
Yeah, that's funny. I forgot all about that. Yeah, good question. Nobody else has ever brought that up, and that's a funny story.
we dig deep on the resume here.
Oh, no, that was great. That was like ridiculous moments in stunts. Like, ridiculous. I was like embarrassed to be there. Yeah. And I was a big fan of Ice-T and still am.
Yeah.
But just the wrong guy for the job. Just a totally wrong guy.
Now, do you have anybody in the film industry or television industry that you haven't worked with that you would want to one day?
Well, I would have loved to have worked with Bruce Lee, but of course he's passed on.
Yeah. Right.
And he's not particularly involved in the film industry, although he is. But Muhammad Ali is another huge hero of mine that realistically. I've been wanting to meet him and shake his hand for many years. That's on my bucket list. As far as the film industry goes, I don't know.
Ice Cube.
Yeah, I want to double Ice Cube. Yeah, that's my thing. No, it's, you know what? I've got a lot of respect for a lot of people out there, but I don't. I like who I'm working with right now, and I look forward to going to work every day and seeing our team on Arrow and working with Steven and David Ramsey and Katie Lotz and everybody in creating action there. I'm doing what I love right now, so I'm not the kind of guy that always looks somewhere else and wishes he were there.
Right.
And you know what? If they knew another Batman, hopefully the DC people and the WP people have enjoyed what I've done on Arrow, and I'd love to apply what I do to Arrow in another Batman.
Well, you might get
that'd be cool because that's
you
a lot
might
of
get
hand-to-hand,
you might
too.
get the chance with Ben Affleck stepping up to the plate with the next Superman sequel.
Yeah, hey, well, if for some reason they want to put me in there, I'd love to do that. Seems to be my niche at the moment.
Yeah, if they ever get around to a Justice League movie too.
Yeah, I would eat that for breakfast. And I really, as far as actors, I like working with actors that are athletic and can handle a certain amount and like training and accept instruction. So that's a lot of different people. I mean,
Right.
Brad Pitt's done a fantastic job throughout his career. Steven's really stepped up to the plate. I've worked with Jason Momoa quite a bit, and he was really top-notch. I had a great time with him on Stargate Atlantis, and he was a great student and just a natural as far as athleticism and fighting. Malcolm Jamal Warner I worked with a lot, and Luke Perry on Jeremiah. Both of them I'd work with again anytime, stunt-wise. I like working with actors that I've worked before and formed a bond with, friendship-wise and professionally. I'm not the kind of guy that is a big sort of star worshiper.
Right.
So I like good people.
That's good.
So,
Well, I can tell you that we're okay with where you're at too, because I mean, Arrow is just. But I know it's my personal favorite show on TV right now. I know Ben is a huge fan.
Yeah,
of it too.
we're both huge fans of Arrow.
oh, cool.
Oh,
thanks, guys. I'm a pretty big fan myself. I'm having a good time.
So
We're allowed to do something. You know, this is a show that every time I design a fight or a sequence, it's something I put myself in that position. So when I was younger and would fit in the leather suit, it's something that I would die for this job as a stunt performer. So I do that. I do it with that in mind, and it's just a bigger challenge every day and a different challenge every day, and it never gets boring.
So would you say, obviously then they each have their own perks, but television show over feature film, if you could pick which kind of project to work on?
Well, I've done a lot of television, and certain, like my partner JJ prefers the feature film section of the industry. I've worked on a lot of feature films as well. He spent more time there, and he's always said to me we'd meet in a common office at Stunts Canada, and he'd be prepping lunch show, and I'd be on television show, and he'd go, "How can you do that all the time? How can you do that? Every day it's the same thing." And I'm like, "No, it's not. I have a week to figure out what I'm going to do,
Right.
and then maybe 4 hours rehearsal for a different fight every week or a different sequence every week. You guys have like 3 months to work on the same frickin' fight or whatever on a feature film." And I'm really proud of what I'm able to do with the short period of time that I have to do, it. And now JJ sees that. He's been obviously on on the show, and he's applied his vast knowledge from Featureland, and it's been a really great combination of information exchange. And I really, back in the day, I really liked the feature world, but I like basically making feature quality work on a television schedule.
Okay. Now being the coordinator, obviously every actor is probably a little bit different. Stephen Amell seems pretty active as far as not necessarily stunts, but like action type stuff goes. Do you end up doing a lot of work with the actors, or maybe
yes,
more work with the doubles and other stunt crew?
No, of course. Well, the way it goes like this. We get the script, we break it down, we look at it for budget purposes, we look at it creatively, we have meetings, we have brainstorming sessions with our stunt team, we discuss everything that could, should, and would happen, and then we break off and we decide what we're going to do, what we're going to keep, budget-wise and all that sort of thing, which scenes. And then we split off, and I'll go and start choreographing if there's a fight or whatever. And I'll do that with the stunt doubles and, the other bad guys, the ND, nondescript stunt guys. I'll start creating the sequence. And then once I've polished that to an acceptable level, then I'll bring in the actors, and the actors will start learning. And I'll use the stunt doubles to teach the actors, and they've formed a bond as well. So
right now, do a lot of the actors have some sort of hand-to-hand combat experience, or do you have to teach a lot of them?
They're all different, They all come from different backgrounds. So some of them come with previous martial arts experience. Some of them come with extensive martial arts experience. Some of them come with some, I like to call it film foo experience. So they've done some training at a stunt gymnasium or two down in LA or where have you. So they've got some experience. Some come without any experience, and then I have to teach them from scratch. So in the beginning of Arrow, I spent a lot of time with Stephen. I don't think he's punched anyone in the face in real life. He's a really nice guy, and he doesn't have a harmful bone in his body. I don't think he'd like to hurt anyone. So I spent a lot of time training basics of technique with him, footwork, how to punch, how to kick, stick work, knife work, weapons, how to wield the bow as if it's a weapon other than what it's obviously utilized for, which is shooting arrows. We've used it for other purposes, shielding, blocking, striking, trapping. So we took the original recurve bow and just started playing around with it, and then what else can we do with this thing?
Right.
And tried to create a whole new style. And so I did basically a boot camp with Steven. And then when we came back to series in season 1, he came here a couple weeks early, and him and I just went to the gym and refreshed a lot of stuff and made him sweat, and got his abs perky, and through. Not that that's hard because they're always there, but and through he does a lot of he does mostly his own training as far as conditioning is concerned. But I used different drills to get him to sweat and whatnot that involved martial arts, punching and kicking and whatnot. And we did the same thing at the beginning of season 2. Didn't have as much time, and it's hard. It gets harder and harder to get time with him. He's got a lot of press engagements and promotion that he's involved in. So
yeah, we know.
And now he's exactly. And now he's got a baby, Mavi. So
you have. Am I right that you just had a baby not too long ago?
That is correct. And her name is Jade. And thank you. Yeah, she's a month and a half old.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I think Steven's little girl is like 6 months old now. So
we're all best friends.
But yeah, well, they haven't met yet. But Steven's met and held my little girl. It was my birthday last week, and my wife surprised me on set. We were in the middle of a huge scene, and she came at lunch with cake and a bottle of champagne that we, of course, couldn't drink, and brought my baby, and the ADs were carrying my baby, and then Steven had a go at holding my daughter. She loved him. He's the baby whisperer now. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, you had mentioned earlier too that how Steven stays in shape and such and everything, and he's very active on social media. He's very engaging with his fans and things like that. And you had mentioned the promotion and everything, and we're obviously at one point hoping that we can get him on to our show to talk to him too. But one of the things that he makes it well known is that it's obvious it's him doing the salmon ladder in those scenes.
Yes. Oh yes. 100%.
Who do you think could make it higher, you or him?
Him. Him. It's not my job to stay in shape on the show. It's my job to make sure that they stay in shape. So I work many hours, 12, 14 hours, 17 hours sometimes. Yeah. And really my gym time suffers when we're shooting.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I don't. I wake up in the morning and I do like 50 push-ups and 50 squats and a little bit of stretching. Sometimes when we can manage it, the stunt boys and I, at lunchtime, we throw on some sparring gear and we beat the shit out of each other. But aside from that, it's not my regular thing. When I'm on holidays, like when we're wrapped for the season, then I get in the gym and I do regular sparring. I really love sparring. I love punching people and kicking people, I guess. So
I wonder why.
That's what I don't know. It's just that one of those things. But that's how I like to keep in shape. And actually, now that the baby's gotten here, I seem to be a lot more active, running around, carrying her, and that sort of thing. I'm not eating as much, but it's hard. I don't envy Steven with our schedule. I don't know how he manages to stay in such top shape, because he looks fantastic at all times, and quite frankly, it makes me sick. And I tell him so all the time, because it's really difficult for me. He's like, "Yeah, Bam, you just have that other piece of cake. Why don't you just eat that? Yeah, you go ahead." I'm like, "What? You have some?" Nah.
I was gonna say he probably doesn't eat a whole lot of cake.
No. He's pretty much gluten free and dairy free and all that sort of stuff. He's very loyal to his fans, and with that comes a lot of hard work.
Right, and Ben had said, and how active he is on social media. I think it was last week, a week or so ago. There's a video that he posted on Twitter. It was you, him, and the Aero stunt crew with about 30 seconds of the slow motion fighting, maybe like 10 or 15 seconds at normal speed. Now that one piece, I'm not sure if you've seen the video, but that 30 seconds or 20 seconds of normal speed.
I filmed most of it.
Okay. How long does it take? How long would it take does it usually take to choreograph just that one like little piece?
Well, that was what you saw there was the Friday after we had already been rehearsing that for let me see, we did 1 8-hour day with all the stunt guys. We did 1 4-hour day with all the stunt guys. And then that day that you saw on film was the very beginning of a 10-hour rehearsal day.
Oof.
So that particular fight, that was the big fight that I was mentioning previously. That took, I think, a total of 22 hours of rehearsal.
Wow. Just for that one fight.
Yeah, but what you saw there was just a moment in that fight. That fight had 3 sections to it, and what you saw was a quarter of one section.
Okay.
So, basically you saw a blink
Just a little bit
in the
of it.
eye. Yeah, very, very, very little bit of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we know
It goes on forever.
Well, we know that you said in that video too that that you couldn't say what episode that fight scene was from. But as I had mentioned before, Adam and I are big Arrow fans, and Steven, being the way he is on social media, he's come out and said a couple of times that this week's episode coming up is probably the biggest episode this show has seen so far.
It's very large. It's very large, but that massive fight is not in this episode.
That's not okay.
This episode coming. No. The episode coming up this week is the one we shot directly after Christmas break, and it's directed by Glenn Winter, one of our DPs, and one of our most illustrious directors as well. And Glenn Winter, of course, was a director of photography and a director on Smallville, and he's been around for years. And he's very creative. And this episode coming up has a lot of action, a lot of big action, and it's basically it's got one of our largest single sequences, what's known as a oneer. A oneer shot is a shot that from beginning to end rolls with one camera, and it has several occurrences in the shot that are major stunts. Probably the biggest one that we've done ever, not just fight-wise, but large stunt-wise. There's explosions, there's wire stunts, there's guys falling, there's guys getting thrown all over the place, and it all occurs in one massive crane shot. Now this particular episode coming up means a great deal to me because we prepped it before Christmas, and then I told all the producers and everyone that, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, hang out because my baby's being born, in January, and I don't know. And it was the morning that my daughter was due on the 16th of January. I got up at 7 in the morning, or I had to be at work at 7 in the morning. Got up at like 5:30 or something. My wife said, I think she's coming today. And I said, honey, just close your legs. I got to go take care of this. It was the day of like the biggest sequence in the whole episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just tell her not to come for a couple hours. I just got to go to set. And, like literally, it's funny. She goes, okay, well, my mom will come and
hold your breath. Don't push. Whatever you do, don't push.
Yeah. So I knew my daughter would wait. So I went to work, and everybody knew that that the baby was probably coming, and she kept me updated. Oh, no, my water hasn't broke. Oh shit, my water broke. Oh. And we did like 2 takes. We'd rehearsed all morning, and everything was going fine. And behind the scenes were there and everything, and we did 2 takes, and something went wrong in the second take, and I had a microphone, and I'm like, I've got to go. You got to get right.
Well, I know we're definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, it's great. It's going to be fantastic and very, very well shot.
Awesome. Yeah,
Glenn does a fantastic job.
You have me wishing.
Yeah, I know.
You have me wishing it was Wednesday already.
Yeah. Well, I know when I guess it was back around Christmas they had announced about the crossover with bringing Grant Gustin in for the Flash, and that's when I decided to actually start watching it. So that was, I think it was a few days after Christmas. So between that and I think it came back mid-January. So in that 2 weeks, I watched all of season 1 and caught up in season 2. It's one of those shows you just
watch. That's when you decided to watch Arrow. Period. You mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's when I started it. It's just one of those shows. The way where it stops, you just want to put on another episode, and the fight scenes have a huge part to do with that. Because, like you said, some of them, you can tell it's choreographed, and these look a lot more like actual people fighting.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of Smallville. I never missed an episode of Smallville when Smallville was on. And I was kind of lenient or iffy on watching Arrow. I got caught up the same way Adam did. I kind of binge watched it, mainly because I kind of grew accustomed to the actor that had played Green Arrow and Oliver Queen in Smallville. And
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how this take on the show was going to be, but when I started watching it, and it's mainly in part to you and the rest of your team, you make Steven look so much more of a badass as Green Lantern or as Green Arrow
Than Justin.
than Justin. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Justin was great, but I think Steven's got him. I think Steven could take Justin. Just the way.
Yeah, funny enough, well, there's a lot different though. Like, I mean, the suit itself that he wears, is just so much less cartoonish looking.
Yeah,
it doesn't have any neon green or that big codpiece sort of looking. I've actually worn the Smallville costume. I doubled Justin a couple times as Green Arrow on Smallville in a couple fights. I think one particularly when he fought Lex Luthor in the mansion.
Well, now I feel bad about saying that. Now I feel bad about saying that Steven is better than Justin because now you filled in.
No, don't. They brought me in there simply because I had some pipes. Although Justin's like 2 inches tall, I think he's like 6'2" or 6'3", and the guy is like a specimen. Justin is like, look, I'm as straight as you get, and the guy's a beautiful man. Just like he's very pretty. And I just don't like knowing the character now. I just don't see Justin as that. I don't see him on the island with streaks and tips, kind of like blonde streaked hair and that sort of thing. It just doesn't have that roughness that Steven's been able to capture. It's just different. Smallville was a different show altogether. It was more shiny, bright colored, and we're more Batman Begins, darker.
Right. Plus,
go
ahead.
Darker.
Yeah.
Just darker. Period.
It's grittier.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I, and that lends itself more to my style. I like. I mean, I can do the old school or the new school, Hong Kong, whatever direction you want to go with fight action or any action period. But I prefer, even though we're doing it's a superhero show, I prefer the audience to feel every hit, like to feel the brutality. It's fighting. I mean, it's violence, man. It's not. It's not supposed to be, although it is pretty at times. It's supposed to look like it frickin' hurts because it does.
Right. Yeah. I mean, up until a little while ago, there were no like superpower type of things other than now there's a little bit of super strength, but before it was literally just all fight. You had to. It relied heavily on fighting, and if Smallville was a little more, obviously dealing with Superman, not quite as much.
Yeah, Smallville was far more cartoon. And softer and that sort of thing. And it's a completely different show. We try to stay, and we were told right off the bat that although yes, we are, the character has a comic book origin, we're trying to stay grounded in reality, and we still. And Steven constantly questions, well, why are we doing this? Okay, if I'm running down the stairs here and a guy's firing a machine gun towards me, and the bullets are striking here on the stairs, I wouldn't dive this way to get out of the way of the bullets because that would be diving directly into the path of the fire. So I would dive, little details like that. We all try to maintain the proper mythology within the show, right. And Steven's got a really intelligent, inquisitive mind. So he owns that character, and he tries to make sure that Oliver Queen and or Arrow doesn't do the wrong thing when it comes to character motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, real quick before we start to wrap up, now you're from Victoria, British Columbia, right, originally?
Yes, sir. I just got off the ferry and landed back in Vancouver right from there.
Right, and that's where Arrow films in Vancouver. And,
Yeah.
and you're the president of Stunts Canada, like we said before. But when I was looking
Correct.
at the resume, at your resume that you have listed, under athletics, I didn't see hockey. And that struck me as a little interesting.
You had to go there. Well,
I'm surprised without that listed, I'm surprised that they didn't kick you out of the country.
Yeah, I know, right? Here's a couple points on that subject. Our actual national sport is lacrosse,
Okay.
which is a much tougher, manlier sport.
Yes, I played 2 years of that.
Yeah, I grew up playing box lacrosse. When I was in kindergarten, my dad was a lacrosse player. He threw me in lacrosse right off the bat. But so many people loved hockey. Hockey became our secondary national sport, and then it adapted as our other national sport. But officially, our national sport was lacrosse.
Oh, okay.
So let's just say that. Now there you go. Now I grew up amongst a ton of people playing lacrosse. Also, I played rugby and that sort of stuff. But I also grew up amongst a ton of people that played hockey. Now I was an only child, and I didn't like team sports that much when I was a kid, and I didn't want to do what every other kid did. So I started martial arts. I started karate when I was like 9 years old. And I saw a Bruce Lee movie, Enter the Dragon. My uncles took me to a drive-in theater, and that's the path that I chose. Hockey, I found hockey to be very generic. When I was a kid, I was playing football at the time at a very young age, and I was going towards football, and I sprained my ankle during lunch hour basketball, and so I ended up in martial arts as a birthday present. And I wanted to do that anyway, but
Right.
long story short, most of the kids that I grew up with who were playing hockey are not in the NHL, but I chose martial arts, and I'm choreographing fights on a fantastic TV series. So screw you, hockey players.
Now,
But many people have tried to get me to like hockey and bought me tickets and, right on the ice, center ice and everything. And I'm like, I end up in the concession stand, for most of the game because it bores the shit out of me.
other than hockey, then, are you a big sports fan of any of the other major sports like NFL, MLB, NBA?
Yeah, I was a huge NFL fan, but it's cliche, but I've always been a boxing fan and a kickboxing fan, and now of course UFC. As long as certain fighters, I don't like the UFC as a whole, but certain fighters I follow and I'm a big fan of. I love very technical fighters. I'm a huge Muhammad Ali fan. Anybody that has that much technique and brains behind what they do, I'm a fan of. So depending on what that sport is.
Okay.
Anything combative.
Anything where you get to hit people?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Which
Where
NFL
people bleed
team?
and it's legal. I used to be a huge Steelers fan.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Like way
closer.
back in the day, but Pittsburgh, yeah, but that was when I was a kid. Terry Bradshaw, I think, was still playing. That was a long time ago.
Right.
Like a real long time ago. And then he ended up in a bunch of movies with stunts in them with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, Cannonball Run.
Exactly.
Movies, yeah.
Exactly. That's probably why I was a fan of his.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna get ready to wrap things up. But at the end of our interviews, what we like to do is we like to throw just a couple rapid fire questions at you.
Sure.
Adam's going to throw them at you. Just answer, whatever the first thing that comes to your head.
This will be fun.
They're not too difficult.
Yeah, they're not difficult questions.
What
Okay, go
is
nuts.
your favorite place to go
I don't have favorites, but I love Italy. I love Italy. I love Central America, El Salvador. We have family there. I love Jamaica. I love Paris. But so I'm a huge traveler, so I don't like to go to one place. I can't say one favorite. Sorry.
Okay.
Right.
And I probably already know the answer to this question now after we talk to you, but have you ever been in a real fight?
Yeah.
Okay. And I was going to say who won most of the time, I guess I should say now.
No, when I was a kid, I got picked on a fair amount. When I was a little kid, I was very shy. So I got, there were some bullies that were much older and bigger than me that sort of stood in the same place when I walked to school every day. But for some reason, I still took the same route every day to get picked on. And then eventually I started martial arts when I was, 9 or 10. And I went and knocked on a couple doors and and took my revenge.
That's the way to do it. Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
Good choice.
Yeah. And now I've noticed on your Twitter a couple videos, one with Paul Blackthorne, about Cigar Fridays. So I got to ask, what's your favorite cigar?
Oh, favorite cigar. Well, I instituted Cigar Fridays on Arrow last year. So I make the stunt guys bring a cigar or a different one all the time, and we find some time to smoke. And I try to get the actors involved. Steven will join me once in a while. Paul was like, no.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a movie in Cuba a couple years ago because I can, because I'm Canadian, and brought back a whole bunch of Cohibas. They are not my favorite. The Maduro 5, Cohiba Maduro 5 is one of my favorites, but currently CAO makes a double Maduro leaf cigar. It's got a red label, and currently the CAO is my favorite. They had a Sopranos edition, which comes in a package that looks like a trunk of a car, like you stuffed a dead body in it.
That's awesome.
And it came with 3 Maduro wrapped cigars. And City Cigar in Vancouver, which is my favorite shop I like to go to, they can't seem to get a hold of the Sopranos edition any longer. So any suggestions, anybody, let me know on Twitter where I can get these things, because they're gold to me.
If you don't already follow James on Twitter, it's at James Bamford. Give him a follow, because you won't regret it at all.
Thanks, buddy.
Sure. Favorite musician or band to listen to?
Oh, God. Yeah, well, as you know, I'm not much of a favorite guy.
3 of these questions are favorites, and off the bat you said you don't like favorites. So.
Yeah, well, I have, I grew up listening to so many different forms of music. So I like dancehall reggae. I like, I like Benny Man. I like Bounty Killer. I like Eminem. I like Ice-T. I like Van Halen. I like Bon Jovi.
Which Van Halen?
Yeah.
Oh, the original Van Halen.
Okay, all right.
The original.
All right.
Yeah, not Sammy Hagar.
Not
Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
Yeah.
No, the real Van Halen.
Okay, good. Now, if you final one. If you could win any award, not necessarily, doesn't have to be TV or film related, which award would you want to win?
One that's an actual award, or one that I made up.
You can make it up. It's your interview. Go ahead.
Well, thanks. I like a combination of world's greatest dad, best friend, husband.
I think they have that.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah. I think that could easily be the best answer.
I know they make T-shirts for it, so.
I mean, but that's that's what's important to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of talk about the Stunt Coordinator Emmy, and they're trying to. A lot of people were pissed off that we didn't get looked at last year and whatnot. But that's that's politics and whatnot. But That would be wonderful for us to win that. We've won a couple Leo Awards.
Yeah, I saw that
won
for
a Toyfa Award.
the Halo TV thing.
Yeah. Well, Arrow also won for television as well.
Oh, did it? Okay.
For the Leo Award too. So we all entered sort of separately. I did Halo in between the Arrow pilot and the series. So JJ entered Arrow, the pilot, and I entered Halo, and we both won. So different categories. So it was great. So it's kind of like we both won anyway. Yeah, it was good. So hopefully, the awards to me it's great to be recognized by your peers, but like I said, I'd like to be the greatest dad, husband, best friend, person, human being, if possible, and that's probably impossible. But
well, if we ever have an award show on our show, we'll make sure to implement that category.
Awesome.
And you'll be the first nominee.
Thanks, brother.
Well, we know we certainly went over the 15 minutes we said we were going to spend with you. So, and we know
that's fine.
We know you just got home. So, I mean, we really appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. This was this was great talking to you.
Oh, I was just going to watch Game of Thrones. So, that's all good.
Still getting caught up, getting caught up before season 3 starts?
No, I've purchased all of season 3 on Sony PlayStation here. So
or season 4.
So
I meant season 4.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm on episode 9 of season 3.
Oh, you're like two episodes away from one of the biggest episodes that season shows.
Oh yeah, well the one I'm watching right now is David Nutter, who directed our pilot, and of course lots of fantastic television. He's directed this episode I'm watching right now, so I'm looking forward to checking it out.
All right.
Oh really? Oh, do it, dude! It's wicked.
Yeah, I saw the pilot, and that was it because I don't have HBO.
Really?
Yeah, I'm borrowing my buddy's HBO Go though, so.
Oh, just go rent. Can't you get DVDs or something where you live?
I don't know. We have Redbox, I think, is the only thing that does DVDs anymore.
I have them, Adam. I'll load them to you.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I'll load them to you.
You should really still watch DVDs because they're awesome. And they have behind the scenes and stuff like that, which are fun.
I still buy them, but all the DVD rental places around here close. All we have are Redboxes.
Yeah, we have one because I live in like a little Italy, like a little Manhattan sort of area in Vancouver, and there's this one company. It's a family owned, and they stayed open, and because all the big ones like Blockbuster closed and whatnot, these guys are flourishing.
I was gonna say they're probably making a killing.
Oh yeah, and they have such a huge selection. All the stuff that I love, from back in the day, they've got anything you look for in there. So
that's actually when Blockbuster was going out of business. That's how I bought the first 2 seasons on DVD for Fringe, which you did an episode for. Or
a few, yeah.
I was gonna say I know I saw that in there somewhere. That was another great show.
Yeah, I did some acting and some other stuff in there. Well, acting, if you can call it that. But,
hey, I've done extra work before. I consider that acting.
Yeah, more acting than
I've done. Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. No, I actually had lines, but the director wanted me to act like a robot, basically. So I don't really like the performance at all.
Yeah,
but whatever.
I'll have to go back and watch the episode, see if I can pick you up.
I think it's season 4. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I think it was second to last season.
So, all right. Well, I mean, we won't take up any more of your time. We'll let you go so you can get to watching Game of Thrones.
Okay, man. Nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot for spending some time with us tonight. And, hopefully, when you get back to set, you can put in a good word for us to Steven and the rest of the crew. So maybe we can get them on sometime down the road.
Yeah, sure.
So, like I said, if you don't follow him on Twitter, it's at James Bamford. So make sure you do that.
Okay, I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna follow him. Are we still on air? Jeez.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap things up now. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again for spending some time with us.
Oh, anytime. Call anytime.
Appreciate it.